The African ostrich, the largest living bird on Earth. Beneath the blazing sun, she carefully forages across it. It has spotted the nesting mother, a dangerous yet highly tempting opportunity. With trademark recklessness, she mercilessly stomps and kicks the intruder. But encased in thick, remarkably loose skin, the honey badger absorbs it. The badger waits for an opening. The stubborn badger lands a vicious counterattack, sinking its teeth deep into the ostrich's leg. Battered, bruised, but undeniably victorious, the honey badger marches triumphantly back. With deliberate precision, the pack moves like a well-oiled machine, sensing an easy, stolen meal. They surround him. Instantly, the badger, in a mere split second of distraction, a swift dog dives in, securely snatches the heavy egg, and bolts. The ultimate prize is completely gone, until they finally lose all interest. With the food completely secured by their fleeing packmate, the wild dogs turn their backs. The badger waits for an opening. The stubborn badger lands a vicious counterattack, sinking its teeth deep into the ostrich's leg. Overcome by agonizing pain and severe exhaustion, the majestic mother finally breaks and flees.
Battered, bruised, but undeniably victorious, the honey badger, the fierce badger, carrying a prize almost the size of its own head, begins its exit.
Suddenly, a highly coordinated pack of African wild dogs emerges. Constantly on the move and incredibly hungry, they lock onto the target. The pack moves like a well-oiled machine, sensing an easy, stolen meal. They surround him. Instantly, the badger drops the egg, violently preparing to defend his prize. He is vastly outnumbered. The dogs dart in and out, constantly nipping. But every time a dog tries to sneak behind him, the badger violently spins around. Their strategy is a game of deadly patience. In a mere split second of distraction, a swift dog dives in, securely snatches the heavy egg, and bolts. The ultimate prize is completely gone. Tragically stripped of his meal, the badger angrily continues to fight, refusing to show any weakness, until they finally lose all interest. With the food completely secured by their fleeing packmate, the wild dogs turn their backs. The honey badger stands alone, empty-handed, battered, and completely robbed. Yet he walks away with his fearsome reputation perfectly intact. The badger springs back with a terrifying, unyielding energy, snapping and lunging furiously at the towering bird. Deeply driven by the ultimate biological imperative to protect her unborn chicks at all costs, the mother is relentless. But the sheer, impossible resilience of the honey badger acts as a powerful psychological weapon. The grueling combat is slowly wearing down the giant bird's initial surge of adrenaline. It is a staggering spectacle of nature's raw brutality playing out on the open plains. A scene where a mother's fierce protective love violently collides with a predator's absolutely unbreakable will. Finally, the majestic mother breaks. Overcome by exhaustion, she turns and flees to save herself. Battered, bruised, but undeniably victorious, the honey badger claims his prize. It carefully inspects the massive eggs, a feast large enough to easily satisfy its incredible hunger, perfectly securing its hard-earned trophy. The fierce badger, carrying a prize almost the size of its own head, but out here on the African savanna, fortunes can change with the shift of the wind. A highly coordinated pack of African wild dogs emerges on the horizon. Known for their ruthless teamwork and infinite stamina, the wild dogs instantly lock onto the target. The pack surrounds him. Instantly, the badger drops the egg, violently preparing to defend his prize. The dogs employ their signature tactics: harass, distract, and endlessly exhaust. Every time a dog tries to stitches, one dog makes a daring grab, pulling the egg slightly away, but the badger explodes forward, viciously driving it. But sheer numbers eventually dictate the harsh rules of the wild. In a mere split second of distraction, a remarkably the ultimate prize is completely gone. The fierce badger, tragically stripped of his hard-earned meal, angrily continues to flee. The honey badger stands alone, empty-handed, battered, and completely robbed. Yet he never once backed down.
Just another brutally uncompromising day in wild Africa.
But the story is far from over. Driven by an insatiable appetite and pure spite, the badger locks onto their scent. He moves with the singular, terrifying focus of a predator that absolutely refuses to be outsmarted.
A mile away, the triumphant pack has finally stopped to rest and crack open their stolen prize.
However, the thick, durable shell of an ostrich egg presents a unique challenge for the canine predators.
But their delay is all the opening the badger needs. He has tracked them down.
With absolutely zero hesitation, the fearless warrior launches a brazen ambush against the entire pack. Shocked by the sudden, violent intrusion, the highly disciplined pack loses its formation. The badger immediately reclaims his prize. He stands his ground, daring the elite hunters to try and take it a second time. Realizing this crazed predator will fight to the death, the pack calculates the heavy risk. They decide to stand down. The elite hunters retreat, leaving the badger as the undisputed victor of this brutal saga. Now, the badger must breach the shell. With specialized jaws built for crushing bone, he applies immense pressure.
A sharp crack echoes. The fortress is finally breached.
He eagerly consumes the rich, high-calorie yolk, rapidly replenishing the immense energy spent on today's brutal battles. A single ostrich egg contains the nutritional equivalent of 24 chicken eggs. It is a massive, incredibly satisfying feast. Miles away, the harsh reality of the savannah sets in. The battered mother returns to assess the heavy damage. Though she has lost one to the relentless thief, she still has a clutch to protect. The biological imperative continues. She settles back into the dust, her protective instincts heightened. She will not be caught off guard again. For the honey badger, the day's primary objective has been spectacularly achieved. With his stomach full and his energy completely restored, the restless warrior looks to the horizon. In the grand scale of the African savanna, he is physically small. But his outsized attitude makes him a true titan. As the harsh afternoon sun begins its slow descent, the shadows lengthen across the dry plains. Every rocky outcrop and termite mound is noted. For a honey badger, the entire savanna is both a hunting ground and a potential home. Armed with thick armor, crushing jaws, and an absolute lack of fear, he bows to no one. His remarkably loose, rubbery skin is his ultimate defense, allowing him to twist and turn even when held in the jaws of larger predators. But today, those defenses were pushed to their absolute limits, and they held strong. That striking silver-white stripe is a universal warning across the continent. Stay clear. He is the undisputed heavyweight champion of attitude, a creature that simply refuses to lose. In this unforgiving ecosystem, survival is never guaranteed. It is fought for, tooth and claw, every single day. And as long as he roams these plains, the honey badger will continue to take exactly what he wants. Because out here, fear is a luxury he simply cannot afford. This is the true nature of the wild.